Hi guys, so today I've got my hands on the Doogee Mix. This is another budget smartphone from China. I've seen some reviews already and I have been really impressed with it. So I thought I would also get my hands on one and let you guys have a look at it. Now, when I saw some previous reviews, I've noticed there's a little funny thing inside the box. So I've been really keen to have a look at this myself. So let's open the box up and see what we've got. So we have the phone, obviously, in here, which we'll come back to in a minute. We have some of the usual stuff like the surround. We've got the brochures and a little cover in there for the phone, which is handy to protect the finish, because it will be quite delicate, I would say, given the chrome finish. And yeah, we found it the most wonderful marketing thing I've ever seen. Feel the world, stick in hole. Yeah, that's right. You've really, yeah, look at that. So for yous that don't know, this is a condom wrapper, but I wouldn't advise using anything that's inside this because it's a metal ring folder holder thing. I don't know what it is actually. It's a phone ring holder. So I guess you put your finger in and it holds it. Anyway, I'm just going to shut up on this thing. Let's just put that aside. So there we are. That's the condom thing out of the way. We have a USB charger, pretty standard. This is a European one, so no good for the UK. And we have what looks like a basic micro USB cable. And we've got a rather nifty little SIM ejector tool with a little plastic handle, which is quite handy. So quite like that. And that's that done. And it's quite a nice box. It's like a nice textured matte finish box, reminiscent of some other brands, but I won't mention them. Now this is the phone itself. So this is the Exploring Silver edition. This is one of 1,000 made. And the yield rate apparently for this phone is only 20%. So 80% of phones they manufacture don't pass quality control. They get this amazing chrome finish. I mean, if you can see, this is just like a mirror. Wow, my ugly face in there. It's completely like a mirror. It's really impressive. It's got glass on the front, glass on the back, and it's got a chrome metal, slightly curved surround with the speakers in the bottom. You've got your micro USB, and you've got your headphone jack on the top, and you've got your antenna lines and so on. So yeah, it's really lovely. And as you can see, it's a bezel-less design. So although it has a very fine bezel around the edges, it's pretty small. And along the bottom, you've got this sort of bar at the bottom with your fingerprint scanner, and you've got your little camera on the top. So yeah, the phone's already just been switched on, so it's just popped up there. And as you can see, it's a really vibrant screen. People have said it's only 720p, it's not really very vibrant, but actually I don't agree. It's very vibrant. It's AMOLED, so it's going to be very, very bright. Some of the colours are a bit oversaturated, but it looks good. And to be honest, I can't see any real pixelation in the texture and the icons at all. There's some weird little quirks with this phone, and it's pretty much down to the software that Doogee actually install on the phone. Like this little dude here that sort of wriggles down the phone there, as you can see. And he's really annoying. But what you can do, you can hold the screen. You can select launch your, sorry if you can see that, launch your settings. And you go to no on home screen. You press that and that's it off. So that little guy has now disappeared. So you've got a pretty stock Android experience. And I've got no complaints. I think it's just like using any other phone. It's very swift, it's very snappy. I've got no issues. So the phone itself is running, I think it's got 64 gig of ROM and it's got 6 gig of RAM, which is pretty impressive for a phone that you can pick up for about £160, I think, UK. So it's the fraction of the cost for any other flagship phone, but it's got some really good specs. Where they've cut corners a little bit, it doesn't have like Snapdragon processors or anything more high-end. It's got a very mid-level processor. It's a Helio P25 running, I believe, at 2.5 gigahertz. So even though it's a mid-level processor, it's very, very snappy. The phone doesn't really have any major lag. It feels really, 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 really snappy and fast. So I've got no real complaints there at all. Now, the phone itself has 3 cameras. It's got 2 on the back. It's got a 16 megapixel camera, an 8 megapixel camera. So you get a very good depth of field. It's got a traditional 2-camera setup, so you can sort of manipulate the photograph to get a blurry background, which is quite a cool feature. It works okay. The camera quality is not bad at all. I think the photographs come out really, really good, and much better than some smartphones from 2-3 years ago. On the front, you've got your 5-megapixel selfie camera. Again, it's not great. It's pretty useless in low light, and there's no image stabilization, but it's really not bad at all. It does the job exactly as you'd expect. And excuse me, and overall, I find the phone really nice to use. It's really swift, and it's very, very nice. The phone itself looks incredible. I mean, it is really spectacular. And I was expecting it to be a bit flimsy and a bit sort of, you know, cheap. But it's not. It's not cheap at all. It's actually really heavy. In fact, it's probably a bit of negative for me. It's 193 grams. So when this is in your pocket, you really feel it. You can definitely feel the weight in your pocket. And when it's in your hand, despite the curved edges, and it is comfortable to hold, but you really can feel the weight. There's no getting away from it. And it's also quite a wide phone. So one-handed use for my really small hands is kind of hard. But it's a minor quibble. For the money, I wouldn't complain at all. When I pulled it out of the box, I was blown away. It's heavy, it's weighty, it's very metallic feeling. It's got a premium feel to it, there's no doubt about it. So I wouldn't be put off. And in terms of some other features, I mean, it's pretty well spec'd. It's running, as I say, I think it's Android Lollipop. So it's a really nice Android experience. It's got a pretty good camera. The processor's pretty snappy. The memory, I mean, 64 gig of RAM, of ROM is perfectly acceptable. You can also add a micro SD card into the phone to boost that up. And I think the maximum's 256. So you can have quite a lot of memory on the phone without having to worry about upgrading it. And there's some other things about as well that's interesting. So it's GPS sensor. And I actually tested the GPS because I wanted to use this in the car, and it locked on really quickly. So the GPS works really, really good. Bluetooth is very, very good too. It locked onto my Bluetooth speakers very quickly. It maintained a signal, and I was able to get a good distance away without losing any signal there. So that was really good as well. And it's got a battery saver option, so you can actually maximize that 3380 mAh battery as well. So again, you should be able to get through a whole day with this phone without a problem. So, you know, technology now, the way things are going, especially from the Far East and China, I mean, these phones are being made by the thousands, and the quality is getting better and better, and the technology is becoming a lot cheaper, so you're getting much better spec for your money. I mean, who would have thought 3 years ago you could buy a phone for 150 quid with 6 gig of RAM? I mean, my MacBook Pros, I think 8 gig of RAM, and my last one was 4 gig of RAM, and this is just a phone. So it's a really good thing. If you want something different, if you want something that stands out, if you're a girl that wants to put her makeup on, this is the perfect thing. I don't wear makeup, as you can see, so it doesn't really bother me, but actually I like it. Some people like sort of bland phones and black and boring, but I like a bit of bling. Bling's good, especially for a phone. So if you like it, go online and snap one up. As I say, there's only 1,000 of these being made, so they will be very, very hard to get your hands on. So get online. GearBest, I believe, sell them. And you should be able to find something on their website as well. So have a little look at doogee.cc, DOOGEE. And that's it, really. I mean, it's a great phone. I've really enjoyed playing with it for the last few days, and I will wholeheartedly recommend it. So if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them down below, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.